Don't hug me! Air hug!
Hi, this is Yuliku. So today I'm in Kensington Market and I'm just curious, does coronavirus make people realize something that they never thought about before? Let's go figure it out.
I think it kind of makes me come to terms with just how fragile everything is. Everything can fall apart so quickly, and I think we're seeing that around the city right now. Yeah.
Okay, I would say that I don't prioritize myself a lot, and I put too much pressure on doing stuff with my career, work, but I don't spend enough time for myself. So now that I have all this time, an abundance of time to do stuff for me, it's kind of weird. So yeah, that's what I've been kind of thinking about. I can do more stuff for me, which is kind of nice. What do you like to do? I like to work out, do yoga. I like to cook. I've been learning to do more cooking.
I think coronavirus has made me realize that I need to appreciate my friends a lot more because I'm not allowed outside, and this is the first time I've really made it out to the city since we got put on quarantine or whatever. And I'm really appreciating my time right now with my friends. So yeah, I just value things more.
Yeah, I've started to just have more of a appreciation for my family and just the people around me, and just to cherish more parts of my life that I used to take for granted before, I guess. And yeah, that's my take on it.
That's beautiful.
Coronavirus problem is not only my problem. It's everyone's in the same situation. So I have to take care, not only me. I have to care for everybody. So yeah, if I don't wash my hand, it's not only my problem. It's yeah, I meet many people, so it's not only my problem. It's everyone's problem. So yeah, so I have to take care of everyone. I think yeah, it's the first time to think about like that.
The virus make you realize something?
Well, it's made me realize that as a community, we need to get together and support one another and look out for each other and our families and keep healthy and just follow the rules. I think it's a wake-up call for everyone to be much more cognizant of what's going on, and I think in a lot of ways our community will get together and be stronger and more supportive of one another in a crisis like this.
Well, I did notice, because I am on social media, that a lot of my friends and people that I've done creative projects with and colleagues are communicating with one another and connecting with each other. And I have noticed that a lot of my friends have reached out and checked up on me, made sure I'm okay. And there's a quiet sense of community that's happening. We don't really know what's going to happen next. But for now, it seems like there is some communication. And I'm trying not to be too afraid. So just focus on what's important to me.
I guess what it made... Can you hear me? Okay, what it made me realize is that how fragile our society is, and that the system is not really prepared to handle anything of this scale, and our daily life is disrupted just because of a virus that spreads uncontrollably. Yeah.
I think it makes us think about the world in a very different way, and the fact that globalization is not necessarily a good thing.
Oh, you want me to speak now?
Yeah, anytime you're ready.
Yeah, the virus made me realize that humans still like to get together, and if we can actually learn how to cooperate, then we can have the kind of world we want, and maybe we've learned something.
This is crazy, and
It's crazy.
people are crazy for believing everything that's happening.
Yeah.
That it's a bad cold if you get it, but it's going to destroy the economy.
Yep.
And the panic and the fear is the real pandemic.
Yep, because you're still more likely to die from the flu. You know that 10,000 people a month die from the flu during flu season? Globally. Yeah, and it's been... They right? They don't, because the media is, they just broadcast and broadcast just because the fear benefits them.
And anybody that has a discerning voice or wants to question what's happening are censored off of YouTube.
Yeah, like...
And off of the internet now. So
Yeah,
there's
like-
no voices you can go to for any other information other than what the government is saying. So it's pretty scary.
It is pretty scary. Like that level of control over the information you're even allowed to transmit is, wow, is unbelievable. I don't know why I should be shocked though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all...
Otherwise, we'd be so scared that this had coronavirus.
Right. I mean, I'm not suggesting that it's not dangerous to the elderly and the already immune compromised, but to think that it's, more dangerous than other ailments out there, such as, pneumonia and, like I said, the flu, is, I think it's alarmist, and it just spreads fear. Like James said, it's just destroying the economy. And then what's going to happen? The businesses are going to need loans, and the banks are gladly going to offer you loans, and then the banks are going to profit because they're going to get interest on those loans. Like, it's just
It's like
crazy.
everything. It's going to hurt the lower and middle class the most. The people with lots of money will
try the
will
wave
sneak
and get
through.
through.
But it's
yeah.
going to be all the people that have restaurants, bars, shops.
I know.
It's going to be really, really hard for them.
And you can't even support them. I said to James, let's just go and have brunch instead of cooking. And he said, you can't go anywhere because no one's allowed to serve you.
Yeah.
So you can't. You can't even support your neighborhood businesses, except if it's like a grocery store or like anything related to food or alcohol or stuff like that. So it's...
So, anyway.
Yeah, anyways,
it's tough.
that's our... yeah. But we try to keep optimistic, and hopefully the small guy will bounce back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it validates what I feel was going to come, because we have been punishing Mother Earth way too long. We have been too greedy. So really, from also a spiritual standpoint, I think it's actually Mother Earth saying we need to stop. We need to think about what our priorities are, like climate change, like having a better life, a greener life, a healthier life. And that also includes being able to give opportunity to people. It's not all about capitalism. So, I mean, now it's starting to hit because people were negligent, right? So that's what I have to say.
Mother Earth basically right now is saying enough, otherwise I'm just going to get more vicious with the storms and the heat and the tsunamis. She's saying you need to slow down and cut down what you're doing with the oil and the toxic products that we're putting into the environment. So let's sit back and feel how clear the air is today. You can actually breathe in Toronto and not feel the pollution. So that's what I have to share.
How fragile we are, I guess, on this planet. And I also think that it's part of the climate thing. You're not videotaping, you're just photographing. Oh, you are?
You think this is a consequence?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. I think Mother Nature wants her planet back. And, no, but I do think, hopefully we'll rethink, like if they see a reduction in the greenhouse gases and all that sort of stuff, hopefully, am I boring you? Hopefully the climate disaster deniers will be able to have proof that it is us, because when we stop doing this stuff, then the planet gets better, starts to breathe again. And it's kind of ironic and sort of symbolic that what we lose is our ability to breathe, which is what we've done to the planet. I feel like we're like the frog in the boiling water as the water gets turned up, and the consequences just inch along. We accommodate each new catastrophe until thinking that we've solved the problem, but we don't. We're boiling. The water's gonna boil. Yeah, and he's just there. He's my little.
I'm feeling just more grateful, more thankful, more appreciative, more able to see how our interconnectedness is so important, and our togetherness and our unity. The Spirit of the Lord is here always.
I walked across the lakeshore and I walked the path all the way up to the Eaton Center, and it's a ghost town. Even the Eaton Center, the urban eatery, they've pulled all their chairs, right? And people don't realize trying to find, when you're homeless, trying to find a place to go to the washroom is really, really hard, right? Like, it's really hard. You can't find places to eat. People are getting thrown out of hospice respite sites because they have to limit it to like 500 or from 102 to like 50 people. So where are we going? We're out on the streets. That's what we do. We walk around all day. That's all we can do, right? And look for food, right? That's it, basically. Yeah, what are they going to do with the homeless? Right? They've opened up 5 new shelters, so I seen on the news this morning, and one place for what do they call that, to like self isolate, but that's what we do anyways. We isolate, right? You go to neighborhood centers and places like that, drop-in centers. They're even saying they're not allowing people in because of this virus. So what do? You walk around and look for food. That's all you do, right? You know, there's nothing we can do but walk around. And I have a hammock, I have a tarp, I have a little bit of a blanket. I'm okay.
Yeah, like, people deserve to be alive and like keep being able to get food and shelter despite anything happening. Like, doesn't matter if like there's a pandemic going on. That's like, even if they get their jobs, even if they lose their jobs, or if they get their hours cut, or if they already had something like a predisposed immune system issue, like, people deserve to keep going, you know?
I'm from the US, and a lot of my community has fought for universal health care, and this is just proving that when there is sickness in the community, that we need everyone to have access, not just healthcare that's tied to employment, because people are out of work now, they're losing their healthcare, and it's just really important that everyone has universal Medicare in the US. So I'm feeling that. My health is tied to your health, it's tied to her health, it's tied to everyone in the community's health. So that's why it's important that we all take precautions right now and all support healthcare for everyone.
Has the coronavirus make you realize something you never thought about before?
Yes, we know eventually we are gonna die, but we don't think every day we are mortal, but we are mortal. We realize that we can die anytime in our lives. It can be a coronavirus or something else, right? It can be a flu, seasonal flu, but most of people don't think. Normally 3,000-4,000 people die from seasonal flu in this country every year. Coronavirus is new. People heard about it, like only 10 people died so far in Canada. Even 10 people freak people out, right? People are scared because there's no vaccine, there's no drugs for it. People are scared, but people should be scared anytime in the winter, right? Because of the flu. 3,000-4,000 people die from flu and or other like diseases, pneumonia, and I think we are gonna gain new habits, clean our hands more, right? And we should uphold the hygiene all the time, not once when we are using public places, especially the toilet, right? And even like food at a food court, you have to be careful. You are touching a tray, you don't know who touched it before you, right? You have to be clean. That's why I clean. I'm wearing these gloves now, right? See, I'm wearing gloves. Yeah, like I'm careful, even though I don't have any symptoms. I am being very careful. So yeah, keeping the social distance. I'm not a social person nowadays.
Yeah, it's made me feel. It's actually made me feel kind of lucky. Just I have a pretty good job. I work for a company that's pretty ahead of the curve, dealing with this kind of stuff. And I'm relatively healthy. I don't have any kids. You know, my parents are healthy, and my sister, they're all doing well. So I know that other people aren't as fortunate as I am. So there's other people who are just in a much worse situation. So it's actually made me feel kind of lucky.
Something that happened for a reason, and the end result, that is, you have to pay for it at the end. Whether you have to put more money into the government's hand, or whether you have to pay people more, you have to give them their time off with families and all that stuff. Everything has a payment at the end of it, because you cannot live like this anymore. It's just not the way it is anymore. It's going to be a lot different. People are going to think twice. So, yeah.
Yeah, so what this is realizing is that this virus is called a new transition for them to restart the system economically. They're going to take away all of our pensions and plans. They're implementing now, they're going to bring in health care into effect, and then soon they're going to put the mark of the beast into people. And you're not going to be able to get health care, buy or sell without the mark of the beast.
Like the system has to improve here, in a lot of European countries, in the US about healthcare and the sanctions against other people, against like Iran right now, which is like what the sanctions that the US has against Iran are not helping. If anything, it's becoming an issue because like people cannot get medical supplies because of sanctions that are supposed to be like punishing the government and not the people who live in those countries, you know? What else?
I think for me, working with the community group, it helped me realize just how important it has been for us to be able to physically show up for people. And that's been a really tough thing to lose as a tool. We're having to get a lot more creative about how we reach out to help.
I realize that when people tell me to stay inside, I don't like that. When people don't tell me to stay inside, I don't mind, and I stay inside all day. So it's been a little difficult adjusting.
So do you want to stay inside?
Yes, I'm actually surprised that there's so many people out here, and it's making me want to go inside really quick. Because look at this, there's people everywhere, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
So why would make you think of anything?
Yeah, how much I touch my face on a daily basis. So now I try not to touch my face, and I know the mask doesn't specifically prevent against the virus, but it helps me not touch my face, and it helps prevent the spread of the virus. So that's my contribution. It's something that I didn't realize before this. So.
That I realized more than anything, I guess, which hit me on a gut level, was how powerless we are, like how little power any of us have and how we think we're really in control, and we're not. You know, even of our daily lives, like just how vulnerable. And I look at people and the side effects of this and how many people it's going to affect, and I realize there's nothing I can do about it except, you know, but that's only, you know, my little corner. But yeah, it's just how powerless, like, we are.
And the system.
The system is powerless. We're powerless. Like, that ship sailed. That ship sailed. Yeah.
Okay, so what I realized is that nothing is real.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's all I realized. That's it.
For example?
Just I thought that things had like absoluteness, like that there's reality there, but it's just like the way you perceive things. It's not.
We're in the.
You can't come close. Get away.
Oh,
Get
sorry.
away.
Oh god.
You just ruined it.
I know I did.
Best vocalist I've heard ever. God bless.
Hello, sir. So my theory is that we've experienced a dimension shift from the 4th to maybe the 5th or 6th, probably 6th. But we're going to see how people use their actual skills to make an amends with each other and learn how to give a genuine apology. I think now we have a time to be compassionate, a time to rest, a time to focus on art like you are doing, well done, and the time to share knowledges of how to survive. Careful, there's a car. Yeah. I think now is the time to just sit in love, as my friend Sue says. You have to sit in love and rejoice and meditate and just kind of enjoy the newfound freedom that we've all gained. Hopefully, EI will come through. If EI comes through, then this is utopia. If it doesn't, then we're in the apocalypse.